Hello there, everybody. This is Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space. I'm still a little bit sick, so please excuse me if I'm clearing my throat or have to take a break. But I'm going to be today telling you about the books that I am finishing in June and planning to read in July. And it's actually only June 8th right now, so I'm just doing an update. It's going to be a little bit of a vloggy wrap-up. Probably every week or so I will update you. At least 2 or 3 times throughout the month I will update you. Because some of the books that I am finishing have to go back to the library. I wanted to talk to you about them before I sent them back to the library. So just today I did a live show with Alana and Michi about Heaven by Mieko Kawakami. So this is probably, I think this is the first thing that I finished in June, maybe. And this is a Japanese translated novella about 2 middle schoolers. Middle school for, I think, Japanese. It's like Japanese middle school age, but for us it would actually be like early high school in the US, for US students. So they're maybe like around 14. The narrator is unnamed, and then there's a girl called Kojima, and they begin talking by just writing letters back and forth to each other. Basically, they are both getting bullied very badly, very severely, which I hear is a problem in Japan, like pretty bad bullying, but it's hard to say that for sure because I haven't actually like read articles and I don't read in Japanese. So, but I believe Alana, she had to look it up. She was like, is this true? Like is this level of bullying something that Japanese students face? And apparently it is. I mean, probably everywhere there's a certain amount of bullying, but it's hard to say because what we know mostly is like TV shows, and TV shows love drama, right? So American TV shows do the same thing. But regardless, it's about 2 middle schoolers who are bullied very severely, and they begin writing letters to each other and sort of finding comfort in their friendship. That element is really sweet, and I think it plays right into the title of the novel. Having a friend, having communication, that normalcy, that's part of heaven, I think, for these kids. And it's interesting because it's not just like black and white. This person is right. It's not like, oh, everything this one person says is right, because they are all flawed. They're all young, and people are different. People process things differently. And I feel like that was presented really well in this book. The different characters have very strong psychological profiles and also moral beliefs. They all think about morality differently, and that's represented really well as well. And there's some really beautiful quotes that I've been sharing on my Goodreads and Instagram, so I thought I would share. I have one of the quotes here that I just really love. So, we'll understand some things while we're alive, and some after we die, but it doesn't really matter when it happens. What matters is that all the pain and all the sadness have meaning. It isn't meaningless. When it's all over, we'll reach a place, somewhere or something we could never reach without having gone through everything we're going through. So I love that because I also I think we all go through times of suffering where we're just like, is this necessary? Like, why is this happening? And that's something that the boy in this book, I'm going to be painting my nails like I was last month, because I just realized, oh, they're ugly. So I need to, not that they're ugly, but the paint, I like my fingers and my nails, especially now that I've gotten them treated with a dermatologist. But when I just have nail polish in little bits and flakes on there, it's like, I think I need to repaint these. So yeah, I thought that this book offered hope in just the right place, which is at the end. So it's not going to leave you like really depressed at the end, which is always something I appreciate about modern literature when it doesn't do that, because some modern literature does that. And I'm not really a fan of modern literature that is leaving you completely hopeless. But sometimes that's also, part of life. So I understand that. But anyway, I love a book that knows where to put the hope at the end. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed Heaven. Definitely recommend it. It's going to be one of my favorites of the year. I'm confident. And I can't wait to read more by Mieko Kawakami. So yeah. Next, I also read volume 10 of the Apothecary Diaries, which the story is by Natsu Hyuga and the art is by Nekurage. So this is actually also a light novel series, and I haven't read that. I've only done enjoyed the manga, but I really love the art style. I think it's hilarious. So, and the character humor is so great. So the character humor might come through from the light novel, but the artistic style is so funny, and I just love it. I love this manga, so I'm probably just gonna stick with the manga. And this volume I actually only rated, I think, 3 stars because the plot I didn't follow very well, which I'm not a huge plot reader. I like a book to have a plot. I don't really like a book that has no plot, but it doesn't have to make a ton of sense. I just have to understand. I have to be excited about it. I just need enough plot to be excited. And in this case, I just did not understand where it was going. I could not predict it at all. So I still rated it 3 stars though, mainly because the humor and the art style is so great. I just really love the characters, and I'm fascinated by the setting. So I've already described this manga series multiple times, so I won't continue with that, but finished volume 10 and volume 11 will hopefully be at the library for me soon. And the other thing that I've finished so far this month is Sky of Paper Stars by Susie Yi. This is a middle grade graphic novel. I'm gonna start painting my nails again, but I just want you to have a good picture of this. And on Instagram I shared what the art looks like. I really enjoyed the art of this one when she's drawing the younger characters, the way she draws their faces, like very blocky, like kind of like a square, kind of wide. And I feel like she portrays childhood and teen behavior accurately. Sometimes children and teens are still learning how to be polite and, how to love people despite their differences. That's a lesson that they're still learning, and that's definitely something that the main character Yuna is learning throughout this novel. She's learning to love herself. She is a Korean American. She was born in America, but her parents were born in Korea, and they lived in Korea and then moved over to America. And it doesn't say why, but probably for jobs or something. But anyways, yeah, she's like either late elementary or early middle school, and she doesn't fit in with her friends at school, and it's, upsetting to her, because she wants to, like, she has other Asian American friends that fit in better than she does. Sorry, I basically coughed right into the mic. Sorry about that. I'll try not to do that. But her parents are very strict. They don't let her go to sleepovers and other things. She can't do a lot of the things that her friends do. And so she makes a wish to go back to Korea. 'Cause she's like, at least I'll fit in there. Like, I'll be understood and I'll be able to have friends there. And then a tragedy happens in her family, and she thinks she caused it because she made this wish to go back to Korea. Because the tragedy ends up bringing them back to Korea. So it's all about her and her familial bonds with her mom and her grandma. And I put some quotes of this as well on Goodreads. But I have a quote here. Life is too short to hang on to anger. And another one. We may wonder what could have been, but I don't think we should feel regret. So I enjoyed this from start to finish. The first little bit I was a little bit confused by because it's a flashback. There are some flashbacks, and I was like, if I'm confused, wouldn't a kid be like confused? It was like a little bit disjointed at the beginning, but I figured it out, and I'm sure a kid would as well. So yeah, it was so good. So good. So Tiffany recommended this to me. Thank you so much, Tiffany, from Beautiful Minutia. And that is it. And also there's a lot of Korean words either romanized or actually in Hangul in this book. So that's really cool too. I feel like it's a great book to give to a kid who is Korean or maybe of an ethnicity where they don't feel like they're part of a community where they don't feel like they fit the general most common ethnicity, maybe like a minority reader. I feel like it could appeal to that, or to anybody who's interested in Korean culture. I think it's like heart meaningful and sweet as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And that's it for now. I can't wait to tell you guys later in the month what I'm planning to read for my k-trope-athon TBR. The announcement just came out today.
Hey guys, it's now Sunday, June 23rd. So I think I've only wrapped up one time this month. So this will be my second time, and there might be a third. We'll see. So I just wanted to tell you kind of how my reading's been going while I paint my nails again. Didn't I do this in the first clip? I don't know. Yeah, what I've been reading, I've been doing a lot of reading in preparation for the live show with Ryan Estrada, because there's a lot of recommendations that the student protesters against the government in South Korea at the time, I've been rereading the graphic novel Banned Book Club, which is what we're going to be talking about somewhat. But I also got an arc for his newest book, which is going to be coming out in, I think, October. That'll be in my TBR for July, k-tropeathon, which I'll be getting to. The new book that's coming out is called No Rules Tonight, and I think this one is also memoir adjacent. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to that. I don't know what it's about. I haven't read the description of it yet, because I'm terrible about doing that. I usually just jump into things without even really knowing necessarily. There's like, I hear one thing about it that's like, oh cool, I'll try that. And that's how it goes. I don't usually do research until I'm reading a book, which is why I'm a terrible book hauler. But regardless, I will let you guys know what I think about that next month, hopefully in the wrap up. In preparation for that live show, I read In Burning Thirst and The Story of a Sound by Kim Chiha. Jiha, excuse me, not Chiha. It used to be romanized Chiha. So in the Columbia Anthology of Modern Korean Literature, which is on Hoopla, which is where I read these books in English, it's romanized Chiha. So that must have been how it used to be romanized. But in the Korean, it's closer to a J sound, Jiha, not Chiha. So it's like Jiha. It's kind of, yeah, it's that's a tough letter, I think, for English speakers, native English speakers. They're kind of J sounding sound. But anyways, yeah, both of those poems were so good. They are protest poetry, which is, I have tried finding so many of the things that he recommended in that graphic novel, not him, but like, that the protesters in the graphic novel recommended, and so many of them are not available, at least to me personally. They might be if I searched around on like used book websites and stuff like that, I might be able to find them, but they're not digitized and available in English, which is how I get most of my books. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but I was able to track down these two poems by Kim Jia, and wow, so good. I'm so glad I read them. So In Burning Thirst is about the desire for democracy, because they did not have freedom of speech and freedom of the press in Korea when that was written. So that's something I want to talk to Ryan Estrada about, is when Korea sort of developed those rights, because they do have freedom of speech, but it was different then, which is why the students were protesting, partly because they knew that in a real democracy, you do have freedom of speech. So yeah, really, really good. In Burning Thirst, so good. I have a quote from that one. And choking, sobbing, I write your name where no one knows. In burning thirst, democracy, long life. Burning thirst for democracy, so good. And then The Story of a Sound is about a man who's locked away in prison for like no reason. So yeah, super sad and wonderful poetry. So I'm reading right now The Story of a Sound in Korean, and I'm like learning words from it and stuff, which is really fun. So I don't know if I've really learned from Korean poetry before, just Korean rap, which is poetry, but it's like pop poetry. This is probably the pop of its day, honestly. It probably was as popular, as any pop music is today. But anyways, next, Kevin and I finished Desert Star by Michael Connelly, which we found out afterwards is like number 5 in a series. Whoops. So this series is about Renee Ballard versus a lot of his other books, which are about Harry Bosch. So both of them are LAPD detectives. I'm just pulling it up for you so you can see. So Kevin and I have been listening to this one, and he really, really liked it. He liked the 2 characters. Like, he cares about the characters, and I agree. I think the character development of both of the characters was really good and interesting, and I liked their dynamic because Renee Bosch is more of like a supervisor at this point in the 5th book. She's like a supervisor and of a cold cases unit, and Harry Bosch is actually retired. He actually sort of was fired for something. I don't know what it was because we haven't read the series yet. But now we're reading the first in the Renee Ballard series, and it's so funny because she references Harry Bosch having like a TV show. So the first book in the series is called The Late Show. So these are police procedural mysteries. So we both enjoyed the narrator of Desert Star a lot, much more than the narrator for The Late Show, unfortunately. But the plot of The Late Show is really good, but we're kind of missing the Harry Bosch, Renee Ballard sort of partnership. But I don't know what their partnership is gonna look like. I don't know. Anyways, I'm very excited to continue on with the series. The Late Show, I think Kevin is kind of like, meh, I'd rather move on to the second book because I think Harry Bosch comes into it in the second book. So we'll see what happens there, but we're enjoying these police procedurals. It took us a long time to read, but because we often just like talking in the car, but whenever we're really in the midst of a good book, we'll hurry and finish it. So we listened to the second half of this much faster than the first half. The first half was a bit slow. The ending to me was a bit cliche. However, it was a good listen. Like, we had a good time listening to this. So yeah, I would recommend the series. Okay, next I finished, where did it go? I have it here somewhere, I think. First Test, there it is, by Tamora Pierce. This was my bedtime read that I've been enjoying lately. This is my favorite series, I believe, by Tamora Pierce. And followed by the Immortals Quartet, followed by the Alana series. And those are the only ones that I really love by her. But that's a lot of books. That's like 12 books. So, and I just reread and read these like so many times when I was younger, especially this series, because I like really admired Kelladry. She was like my hero. I was like, I want to be a knight. She got me into like running. I used to be a runner, like a long distance runner. And yeah, I really just had a good time as a youth pretending that I was going to be a lady knight, you know? So anyways, this is following Kelladry, the first girl who is going through the system to become a knight, who is known to be a girl. So the first girl was actually Alana in the Alana series. That series takes place before this one. However, nobody knew that Alana was a girl. She kept that a secret from everybody. In this case, because Alana got through the knighthood thing and actually excels as a knight, the realm has decided to welcome female warriors as knights. So, knights in training. So Kelladry is the first female applicant whose family allowed her to do it, and then they put her on probation because the training master does not think that a girl can become a knight. So it's a feminist fantasy in that sense, but honestly, the characterization is so great. Like, I just feel like Tamora Pierce has a real way of characterizing people with humor, and the character humor is just so great. And it feels like Kelladry is a real person. Like, I feel like, yeah, this is the kind of person who goes into law enforcement, because the knights were the law enforcement of the time. You know, that's her goal, is protecting the small. That's why it's called Prickly. So yeah, it's very animal heavy series. And Kelladry is just all grit. Like, she trained in like the Asian islands of her fantasy world. And so she is very like flat affect for everything, but it just makes her really tough. She's just super tough. So yeah, I just really love the series. So good. Definitely recommend it to any younger readers out there or parents of younger readers. It does deal with things like, you know, when Keldra gets her, not the first book, but the second book, during her page years, it deals with like her puberty, that was the first time I read that when I was a kid. I was like, what? This is in books, you know? So yeah, it's very like, it's just like girl power. It's a girl power type series. So, and it's also been made into a graphic novel. So I'm waiting for the graphic novel to come in. Yeah. And I didn't really like any of Tamora Pierce's other series that I tried. So it's really those 3 series, but I really loved those 3 series. So anyways, next, I have a couple DNFs. Sadly, I did DNF both The Double by Fyodor Dostoevsky and My Antonia by Willa Cather, which I talked about in my last video, but these are kind of soft DNFs because if I had time to listen to the audiobooks, I would do that. I think I would at least try to finish them because I have loved things from both of these other authors. Obviously, you know, I love other things by Dostoevsky. However, The Double, which Jenny actually loved, which is why I picked it up in the first place, The Double, there's not really a lot of philosophy happening. And even though I thought the beginning was pretty funny, without the philosophy, I just feel like that's a huge part of why I care about Dostoevsky, why I love him. It's because I'm always so curious where his philosophical journey is going to take me. So yeah, I'm just not, there's not really any stakes for me in this one, unfortunately, and I'm not really connecting to it, unfortunately. The beginning was funny, but yeah, I just, meh. And then next, My Antonia, I think I already described my reasons for this. But okay, right. The Double is about a bureaucratic man who basically he's not really happy with his position. He visits a doctor and the doctor's like, make sure to take your meds for like some mental thing, and you're not sure what this mental thing is. And a big question throughout the book is he having like a mental breakdown, or is he actually seeing what we are being described, what is being described in the story, which is that he has a double, an exact double with his name, with his facial features, just shows up suddenly, starts working at his job, and then turns everybody against him. And it's like, is this really happening? Or do you have some kind of mental problem here? So yeah, it's kind of undisclosed what his previous mental problem was. So who knows? But yeah, anyways, it's interesting. Like, it sounds interesting, but when I'm reading it, I don't care, and I'm not really following it very well, unfortunately. So I think the execution just isn't there. Or maybe it's because it's Constance Garnett. I don't know. Sometimes I like her translations. Like, I didn't mind her translations of his great novels. However, I'm going to try the Richard Revere and Larsa Volkansky one because I'm going to be reading The Gambler this next week. Hopefully, I'm going to be starting it in that translation. So if I end up loving The Gambler in Richard Revere and Volkansky, it has the double in it as well. It's like a double, it's like a 2 novella bind up. So maybe I'll try it in that. But anyways, and as far as My Antonia, it's basically about families. Where do they live? I don't even remember now. Families on the plains. Like, in every book, it's a different state on the plains. Yeah, just, oh, no, is it Nebraska? I don't know. This just shows how little I connected with it, unfortunately. So I'm just going to DNF it for now. When I have more audiobook free time, when I'm not reading the Tale of Genji on audio and Mistborn series on audio, then maybe I'll come back to these and listen to them, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm really craving nonfiction because I'm reading one nonfiction book, The History of the Russian Revolution, but before that I was really just enjoying alternating my fiction and nonfiction. But with all I'm doing so many fiction read-alongs and everything right now that I just don't have the time, the audiobook time, but that's okay. Next, I am 30% into the history of the Russian Revolution. So excited. We're getting to, so there's already been the revolution's beginning in February, the February Revolution in 1917. Now we are getting to the July sort of uprising. I don't know what the July days is what the book calls it. That's what Leon Trotsky calls it. History of the Russian Revolution is by Leon Trotsky. So I'm excited to get to the July days. We just had our live show today. Tony and I did, for chapters 16 through 20. So our next live show next month in July will be through chapters 21 through 25. Yeah, so we're doing 5 chapters right now. So yeah, I'm excited to keep going with that. Tale of Genji, I am also, let's see, I'm at 70%, 72 or 73% of the part 1 audiobook. So half of that. Yeah, I'm like half of 70, whatever that is, 30 something. So I'm around the same area in the Tale of Genji. And I actually was enjoying it for a few percentages because it was more about the women than about Genji, the player. But it's kind of focusing more on Genji again. But hopefully we'll just switch over. At some point he'll, I don't want to... Is it really a spoiler? This book is over 1,000 years old. If you want to not be spoiled about this 1,000-year-old book, skip ahead about 30 seconds. Genji dies in the book. So the whole book isn't going to be about him, and I am just waiting for that point when he dies because I hate reading about Genji. 2-star book. The whole time I've been reading about Genji. 2-star book. Translation is great. I've been listening to the, Dennis Washburn translation. Great translation. So enjoyable. Like, I never get caught up while I'm, it's very easy to just listen and enjoy it, except that it's hard to enjoy reading about a sexual predator being praised and described as beautiful and how everybody loves him and how he is noble and how well he treats his girlfriend. Like, it's really hard to read all this fawning praise of a sexual predator, honestly. So I'm having a really hard time with the Tale of Genji. Yeah, I don't know why. I know why it's a classic. I know why people maybe love it. I don't know. Maybe I'm judging it too early, but it's way too long. Fawning praise over a sexual predator. Do not understand why people love this book. There is some beautiful poetry, but as is previously established, I'm not a poetry girl, so I'm just not the target audience. I also don't learn very well from, fiction books about what a period is like, really. I would rather just read a history book. That's kind of my unfortunate, sad thoughts about the Tale of Genji so far, so not particularly recommended, unfortunately. However, I am looking forward to doing the live shows. I had to miss the first one, which really was lame because I was looking forward to ranting about Genji. But, okay, 3 out of 4 of the hosts kind of hate the book, even though we like the actual, the girls, 2 of the girls, all 3 of the other girls running this live show, women, they have the same book, I think, that has footnotes, and they're really enjoying the footnotes. And I'm really enjoying the audiobook translation that I'm listening to. Victoria is the only one who's I actually really enjoying the book. So Victoria has been enjoying it, which makes me really happy that one of us is enjoying it. It seems like with these summer read-alongs, 1, maybe 2 of us usually enjoys it, and then the other *S don't like it at all. So yay, I'm glad that it's Victoria's turn to really enjoy our group book. So that's exciting. So go watch her channel for thoughts on that, maybe, or at least go watch the live shows on Naomi's channel for watching and Victoria explaining her thoughts on it. It is fun to hear her talk about it because she's enjoying it. The rest of us were kind of is it over yet? Okay, so but I think there's actual coherent reasons why she likes it, and she explains it. I just don't, so I'm not saying all those reasons. Go listen to her talk about it. Okay, next, what else is that? Yeah, that's mainly what I have read so far because I'm reading so many long books. That's mainly what I've read so far. I am this is what I've read. This is what I have left of Words of Radiance. I've actually picked up pace in the second half of June because I've needed something relaxing to read and listen to. So I might finish this by the end of the month. I don't know. I've really picked up pace with it, so we'll see. But slowly going through Words of Radiance. Instead of reading that, I was reading First Test for a while, and I just inhaled it so quickly. And I'm trying to like blast through the Tale of Genji because my audiobook is returning in like, how many hours do I have left? It says 1 day still, so I don't know how many hours I have left, but I'm trying to like finish the audiobook, and I'm still at 73%, so that's like 8.5 hours still. I'm probably not gonna finish it. Anyways, okay, let's move on to the TBR because it's a really exciting TBR because it is k-tropeathon, of course. So I'm just gonna pull that up. Yeah, so first of all, I have 2 books here out that the library has just sent me. So first of all, Villains Are Destined to Die, which is a manhwa, my first manhwa. It's full color, which is why people like manhwa more than manga sometimes, is because a lot of manga is black and white, which is also great. I love manga, but yeah, cannot beat that full color manhwa. Sorry, hang on. I just need to pull this closer to get comfortable. Yeah, so really excited to check this out. This was recommended by Mel's Reading Life. Is that what her channel is called? I'll link her down below. So excited to get this. So this is about a girl who is playing a game called Daughter of the Duke's Super Love Project, and she likes playing it as the easy mode heroine, Yvonne, which makes charming the male characters a breeze. And I think that's the purpose of the game, is like charm the male characters. It's like a romance game. And she ends up waking up though as the villain, so Penelope. And so everybody tries to kill her because she's the villain, and she's just woken up as the villain. And yeah, so that sounds really entertaining, and I'm excited to jump into that. Sounds like just what I need. Something chill. Although actually, Words of Radiance has been I'm so glad that we did Stormalong and the Mistborn read-along this year. At first, I was really afraid that I would be overwhelmed by reading that much reading fantasy. I don't really read a lot of fantasy anymore. But it has been so relaxing, honestly, because I've already read them. So it's just, I really do enjoy rereading, especially Brandon Sanderson. There's always more to like notice. You can't remember everything because there's so much. Okay, next, I also just got Black Girl from Pyongyang by Monica Macias. I don't know actually where. So okay, let me just. In 1979, age 7, Monica Macias was sent by her father, the president of Equatorial Guinea, to the unfamiliar surroundings of North Korea to be educated under the guardianship of his ally, Kim Il-sung. Holy moly. So I ordered this months ago from the library, and it just came in today. So that's why I don't remember, but I was really intrigued by the title and the picture, obviously. So I'm hoping there's pictures in here. Yeah, there is. I can't wait. It's been a while since I read a North Korean defector memoir. So she's obviously not North Korean, but anyways, fascinating. She went to school in military boarding school in Pyongyang. And then she left. Yeah. So I'm very, very excited to check this out for k-tropeathon. Hopefully, maybe even before. I don't know. I'm trying to finish. I would like to read some things before July starts because there's a lot happening in July. Okay. I'm also in the middle of Comeback, which y'all know. This is the We Love Jenny pick for me of the readathon, or it could also count for the Comeback theme prompt. This was Jenny's favorite K-pop novel and mine as well so far. It's the only one I've finished. I've tried. No, that's not true. There is another one that I really love. I just listened to that one on audio. If I remember, I'll put it down below because I really did enjoy that one as well. But I did really love this one. Yeah, definitely recommend it. So we're following this. I've talked about this a lot on my channel, I think. But it's kind of like an NCT 127 kind of retelling. So this main guy, Aary, is who we are following in his head, as well as a girl that was cheering for them before they were popular as a group. His group is called Neon. Their fans are called Glow. So there's a particular Glow that he remembers who used to come and support them even when they were really small and nobody knew who they were. And he sees her again now that they're big and famous. And that's like the meet cute. It's not, I don't know, it's not like a happy meeting when they first meet. She like dumps tea all over his white jeans and he's about to go on stage. So it's like a, oh no, kind of meet. But yeah, so entertaining and it's just so fun to read. I really, really enjoy it. So excited to reread that. Already on my way doing it. Okay, next, 9 Coaches Waiting by Mary Stewart. This is not for k-tropeathon. This is for Tiffany's Patreon and I'm so pumped that we are reading this. I think Dia recommended this. So one of the perks of the highest tier of Tiffany's Patreon, and I keep forgetting this, is that you can offer books to be voted on so that the Patreon will end up reading it. That's like one of the upper tier perks. So I think Dia is the one who suggested this, and I'm so excited because I loved the 2 Mary Stewarts I read last year. This one I've had trouble getting into because it starts off with like a lot of description, but I'm hoping that as the plot gets going, it'll pick up and I'll be able to read it. But I need to read it quickly as well because it keeps going back to the library. Like there's other people continually reading this, and so I literally have it for like, I can't renew it once I get it out. So I need to start that as well. But I also need to start Welcome to Hyunangdong Bookshop by Hwang Bo-rum because, oh, and by the way, what is this about? I think it's about a governess who, she is traveling to, oh my gosh, I don't even know where she's going. Is it France? Yeah, I think it's French because she's talking in French and she's like, in the beginning, she's like trying to remember the French that she learned when she was younger. Anyways, I think she's an English governess who's going to watch like a French noble child. She's going to be like she's going to watch him basically for his parents. I don't know. It's governess. So anyways, yeah. And something goes wrong. It's like their romantic suspense. And so they're just so fun. They're just super fun. Okay, next. This is our group book for k-tropeathon. So I need to get going on it because I'm not going to be able to listen to the audiobook. I don't think there's so many holds on it. So, but I put a hold on the audiobook just in case. But high-powered woman with a high-powered job reconsiders her life because of this bookshop. Okay, Youngju is burned out. She did everything she was supposed to do. Go to school, marry a decent man, get a respectable job. Then it all fell apart. And then, okay, surrounded by books. She and her customers take refuge. Oh, okay, so she opens a bookshop. Okay. Heartwarming story about finding acceptance in your life and the healing power of books. Okay, sounds like a book for book lovers, honestly. It's supposed to be a little bit philosophical. I think Amy told me it's a little bit philosophical. Thank you, Amy. Now I'm more excited for it. But actually, Tiffany told me that too, because she said it's like when the coffee gets cold, which is also philosophical. So we'll see. Tiffany hasn't read it yet. I guess because Amy's read it, I was like, oh, good. It is philosophical. That's exciting. Okay. That's a buzzword for me and I think Tiffany. That's why we both love Dostoevsky. So this was Tiffany's pick, by the way, on our poll. Mine was Snow Globe, which is also on my TBR, but I'm not getting to audiobooks very quickly right now. So I don't know if I'll be able to read Snow Globe or not, but I really hope that I can. Why have I been saving up all these books? I don't know. I have like way too many things that I want to read for k-tropeathon. Okay. Paul's Letters. Face Discord, I think, is already starting Paul's Letters. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm almost done with Revelation. I'm like 2 chapters away from finishing my read of Revelation. But then I'll have to go back and study it more in depth. So I guess I'm not done. I'm only like halfway done. But I think it'll be good for me to have another Paul's Letters going at the same time because I can read them when I'm not like able to study as in depth as Revelation demands. So I think Paul is going to be what I'm reading, like immersion reading on mornings when I don't have as much time. So that's my plan. So excited to do that. And in my community post, I shared a link to Faith's Discord if you want to join us and read that. And there's also another book that she's going to be reading in there that I really want to read, but it's super long and I'm intimidated. I have too many long books going. Okay. And Mansfield Park. That's right. Emma's book club is reading Mansfield Park. How I wish I had time to reread that. But I've read it at least 3 times. Like, I'm going to go to the book club meeting anyways. Okay. Next, Gulag Volume 2. Were we supposed to read Gulag Volume 1 last month? This month? So, I don't know. If I don't think I have time. Well, maybe, because I'm almost done with Maps of Meaning with Emma. So maybe, but I really don't think I have time for the Gulag Archipelago right now because of the history of the Russian Revolution. So, Faith, let's talk. Okay. Jane Austen July. I really wanted to read Sense and Sensibility for Jane Austen July. I was actually going to take part in Jane Austen July this year, but I have too much going on, I think. But I really want to reread Sense and Sensibility. I haven't read it since I was a teenager, and I think I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed all of Jane Austen as a teenager. I really enjoyed it. So, okay. Next, Sustainability July. Oh, yeah. So Faith does this thing called Sustainability July on her channel. And so we're going to read some Wendell Berry essays because I have a collection of essays that's just been sitting on my Kindle. So Horse-Drawn Tools and the Doctrine of Labor Saving, Family Work, and A Few Words for Motherhood. Those are the essays that we both had in my collection and in her collection. We both had that. So, okay, next. Okay, I have a ton of books here for k-tropeathon, so I'm not sure how many of these I'll get to, so I'll just go through them quickly. So first of all, A Crane Among Wolves by June Her. That's going to be a buddy read with Joanna, so I am going to like prioritize that one. It is on hold, but there's like 8 weeks holds through the library, and I only put it on hold like 2 weeks ago because I didn't realize there would be such intense holds. But of course there are, anytime it's a new book. Yeah, but anyways, that was one of our group pick options, was A Crane Among Wolves, and I really enjoyed listening to June Her on audio, so I'm hoping to get the audiobook. We'll see. Okay, I wrote down Tale of the Nine Tails. That's not a book. That's a K-drama. Maybe I can start rewatching that, but we're gonna have a group watch, so maybe not. Anyways, okay. Comeback I've got over here. The Good Son by Jong Yoo-jong. That's a thriller, Korean thriller. And I had it written down here to buddy read it with Tiffany, but I know that we are going to be reading The Trial by Franz Kafka next month because we didn't get to it this month because she was on vacation, and me and Stephanie were just like, I was still trying to read The Double, which I was supposed to buddy read with Tiffany in February. So, yeah, I think I was just too behind on buddy reads. And yeah. So anyways, we're going to be reading The Trial, so we probably won't get to The Good Son, but we'll see. We'll see. Next, I have Idle Gossip here. I don't have the author down. For some reason, I don't have the author. But Idle Gossip was one that I meant to get to last year and didn't have time. So we'll see if I need something good and gossipy to listen to. I'll listen to Idle Gossip. Which is a play on words because idol is what Koreans call their celebrity singers, basically. They're pop singers. Okay, Snow Globe I already mentioned by So-young Park. And then I had The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. We'll see. I would love to get to that because I really enjoyed Shanghai Girls by Lisa C. Really, really enjoyed it. So I would love to get to this if I can. Next, Marry My Husband, a webtoon. I don't remember who recommended this. It might have been Sarah Esther, but I would love to get to that if I can. And then Tower by Bae Hyung-hoon. So Tower, that's in... it's like a collection of science fiction short stories. That's what it is. Yeah. And I've been meaning to get to that for literally years. It used to be on Hoopla, but now it's on Libby. So if I can, I'll get to that. Fangirl Problems by Jenny Bennett, ASAP by Axie O. And, oh yeah, these are the books that I was trying to find. I didn't realize I had them listed here. But the Korean books that were recommended by the banned book club, Kim Hyun-suk, who is the person whose memoir, it's a graphic memoir of her experience in South Korea. The books that were recommended by the protesters in that book, the student protesters. So Cry of the People and Other Poems by Kim Chiha. Couldn't find that. I was really wanting to read Cry of the People, but I couldn't find it. Ri Young-hee's Logic for an Era of Transition, which I really wanted to read too, but I couldn't find that one. Im Gokjong by Hong Myung-wi. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's all okay. Reading Korean is easier than reading Romanized Korean. Romanized Korean is so hard to read. If you're actually looking at the word in Korean, it's easy to pronounce if you know how to pronounce Hangul. But romanization is so hard. Anyways, A Song That Cannot Be Erased by Kim Jong-hwan. Did I look that one up? I think I did look that one up. Couldn't find that one either. But anyways, those are all of my plans for July. That was a long TBR. I don't usually spend that long on my TBR, but because it's k-trope-athon, I had to. So let me know down below what you're going to be reading for k-trope-athon. If you already didn't, you might have already left your TBR on my announcement video, in which case you're entered into the giveaway. Woo! Which I need to announce. Maybe I should. No, I think you guys have a little more time. Yeah. Let's give you a little more time because Yoon just posted her video like under a week ago. So we'll give it to the end of a week. But maybe I'll add a little addendum to this video at the end of the month and let you know who won. Okay, that's it. Yeah, let me know what your favorite Iswell thing read in June was and what you're planning to read in July that you're really, excited about. That's the end. I'll talk to you next month. Bye.